Good morning and welcome to another school assembly and the fifth week of the summer term. Let me first start by thanking Mr. Gerald and Madam Heinzer for their VE Day celebration assemblies in commemoration of 75 years since the end of World War II last week. While it is exceptionally hard to fully commemorate the sacrifice that so many men and women made for the freedoms that we enjoy today, I am glad that we continue to honour those who gave their lives to free Europe from the tyranny of Nazi rule. This week is our last full week before half term begins on Friday afternoon. I think this will probably be the first time when I do not need to mention in my news sheet our continued requests to parents not to take our students away from school early before we break for half term. Given our students are already at home and have been for some time, it seems churlish, therefore, for me to make such requests as we approach this break. Half term ends on Wednesday evening, the 27th of May, and our online and remote courses will start again on Thursday, the 28th of May. As is usual, the school staff will assemble virtually on the Wednesday of that half term to spend time continuing professional development with a focus on refreshing and improving the new skills that we've been using in this period of remote learning and readying ourselves for further developments after the half-term break. It goes without saying that we wish all our students and their families the most amazing and restful half-term when it does come, and I pray for some good weather so we can enjoy some time outside in the sun and away from the computer screens. I know that many of you will be looking at recent developments in England as the lockdown process is reviewed and certain changes are made. Some may be longingly looking forward to the opening of golf courses and spending time on the fairway and driving straight and true to get to the green. I have already reassured my wife that should golf be allowed to continue in Scotland, at least there could never be a concern or worry about the two of us breaching the 2-metre distancing rule. Whereas she hits the ball with great distance and unnerving accuracy, I am something of a less accomplished golfer and rarely get to play my shots from the fairway. Instead, looking enviously as she plays from the shorter grass and I hack my ball from the long grass in the rough. It is also clear that the ambitious plans to reopen some schools on June the 1st are taking considerable amounts of newsprint. It is important to remember that in Scotland, the stay at home, stay safe instruction remains in place, and as yet, there have been no confirmed plans to reopen any school in Scotland. Whilst the senior management team are using the English documents to prepare our plans for reopening, should we get the permission and direction from the Scottish Government to do so, we have to wait for this permission. And so please do wait with patience for further communication on this issue of school reopening. I, along with all our staff, are very keen to find a way to have at least some students back at both the junior or senior school at some point in June, but we'll only do so when we can be sure that we can provide a safe and caring environment to welcome our students back into. Until then, please do continue with our remote education package. Mr. Bryce and his division teams are working hard to produce the final online division competitions of the school year, which will include piping and drumming, soloist performances, and a range of new competitions to finally decide the Division Cup for 2019-20. Will Houses make it a back-to-back victory? Will Carmichael regain the trophy after the shock of last year? Or have Coburn or Kinross done enough to win the trophy? Do get yourself involved if you can. I would also like to wish members of the Fourths the very best of luck this week as they embark on the traditional week of assessments. This week marks the midpoint in the progression of the 2-year National 5 courses, and these assessments are vital in gathering evidence in how our students are faring with these courses. As this year has shown, having this data from an exam process has huge value. Heaven forbid, should the 2021 exam diet be impacted by a resurgence of COVID-19, then this data will provide a useful basis on which to build predicted grades. Whilst talking about predicted grades, I must thank my senior academic team and the heads of department in the senior school who have been working incredibly hard with their team members to provide a full list of data and predicted grades for the SQA. We are nearing the end of that process and will be submitting grades for approximately 270 of our senior students. When therefore you consider the range of subjects that each of those students undertake, the data entry is in the thousands, and I must sincerely thank Mr. Andrew McCann, who as exams officer has a great deal of responsibility in ensuring these grades are entered accurately. Whilst also mentioning the fourths, communication will soon be coming out from the school regarding the Duke of Edinburgh Award that will be available as students begin the fourths. Our current thirds will soon have the opportunity to begin Duke of Edinburgh Bronze Award, a hugely valuable and enjoyable course. The Bronze Award encourages students to devote themselves to the acquisition of new skills, new physical activities, community service, and of course, an outward bound expedition. It is a wonderful and widely respected award, and I would encourage all members of the thirds to consider embarking on this course. Our thirds will also have shortly information regarding the options for joining the Combined Cadet Force and deciding between the Army or the RAF sections. Running parallel to the CCF on a Monday afternoon is also a service opportunity, and I hope we will be able to send further information to the thirds and their parents shortly. Whilst mentioning the Duke of Edinburgh, please do remember Miss Isherwood's Skills for Life course that is available online at the Edinburgh Academy YouTube channel. In what will be an ever more competitive world, facing an economic downturn, acquiring some very strong academic grades alongside opportunities to show character development, engagement in the wider world, an understanding of our place in society, and developing strong leadership skills alongside teamwork ability will be vital. Engagement in activities such as the CCF, service for the community, or the Duke of Edinburgh Award are all such examples of extending oneself beyond the curriculum. As we say often to the school in our main hall assemblies, it is so important to engage fully in the opportunities that the school provides, mostly to seek personal development and improvement, but also to honour the sacrifices that are being made by your parents in allowing you to attend the Edinburgh Academy. In closing, therefore, I thought I would continue in my desire to provide advice and direction as Rector, even in these strange times, by mentioning Rule 57 of the Rules of Life by Richard Templar. It's one of those books that I purchased at the beginning of a long train journey, and I have yet to finish. However, Rule 57 is for me a key ingredient of a happy and successful school. It's usually the source of much upset and concern in any school. This is Rule 57. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. It is very easy to moan, to complain, to criticise. It is much harder to always find something nice to say about a situation or a person. But think of it now as a huge challenge. Saying something nice is hard because our natural inclination is to moan. No matter how horrid someone is, there is always something about them that is good. Your job is to find that good bit and highlight it, speak about it, draw attention to it. It's the same with a situation that seems troublesome. I remember reading once of someone who was on the metro in Paris during a major strike. It was chaos, and people were shoving and pushing, and it was pretty horrendous. There was a woman with a small child there, and it could have been quite scary, but she bent down to the child and said quite brightly, "This, my dear, is what they call an adventure." Now, obviously, if you're only going to say good things, then this cuts out backbiting, gossiping, slagging off, telling tales, being rude about people, complaining. And if you're someone who spends a lot of precious time doing such things, that could leave you with a pretty big gap to fill. So before opening your mouth, therefore, try just for a week to find something good to say. It's one of those things that will amaze you by how it improves your life. But don't take my word for it. Try it. And if all else fails, and you really can't think of anything positive to say, then don't say anything at all. Have a wonderful week.